Hello, everybody. Let me know. Oh, I see some people are here. Miss Kathy and Jamie and Elle, Kaden. Having a little bit of a chit chat as we go. I'm gonna kind of wait until I know there's a delay, so I'm gonna kind of wait until I see whether. Oh, I need to grab my drink. But I'll wait till I know whether somebody can see me or not, or hear me, and all that. Let me see where I can actually see would be helpful. Um, oh, Miss Lori, I don't know if anybody can see me or not. So I'm gonna wait till somebody says, I see you, I hear you. Oh, Miss Jamie says that. I'm gonna grab my, where did I stick my drink? I'm gonna grab my drink real quick. Okay. I was not prepared. Clearly, you can see me. Okay, awesome. Elements is going to be cleaning too. Oh, can you see the chaos here? This is what it looks like when you wrap up 2020 with your cubicle mess. I'm actually going to move a couple things out of the way here so that I have space to shift things to be able to clean. Also, I need my juju spray. I was not very prepared. Should be down there. I'm gonna have to grab some paper towels too. So once we empty one out, I can actually put things back. So I'm gonna move a couple things out of the way. Hello, Miss Mary. Okay, everybody says I'm coming through. Miss Jamie has a disaster. She was working on her planner. I've been working on I've been in my LFE planner, which has been going amazing. We'll just have a little planner catch up while. So I already did a video on this. I'm using the LFE planner, and so I put the 3 weeks of December into the back, so I was able to use it for 3 weeks before January started. So I've been loving this. I've used it now. This would be my 4th week using it, and I am really loving it. So that's working out well. But I needed a place for, if you're a bullet journaler, using like projects and tracking like that. So I started like another one just for like business tracking and class tracking. So I went through, I don't think you're gonna be able to see because the light is so bright. Let's see, I don't know how to fix that right now. But anyways, I went through and like put in Nellie's journal and highlighted all of the cards that I've already finished so I can get going on that starting in 2021. I have a rune deck that I've already done about half of them. So I started graphing that in. My geomancy class starts next Saturday, so I wanted to get a project tracker for the geomancy class. So I sat down and got that work done today because that's going to be separate from my actual planner. So because that was the thing that I have to say that I miss about straight up bullet journaling. Once I went into a planner, I felt like, okay, it's great for the week-to-week planning, but it's not so great for the project planning. So I feel like, okay, I need something separate for project planning. So, or like lists of decks that I need to do walkthroughs of, like all that kind of list making stuff. So, sorry, I'm just clearing some space to pull decks off of there. That way we can get going. B is switching to quarterly planning. So you just have a planner per quarter? How does that look, Miss B? Kate, your hair is making thank you. It's actually been up in a twist on the back of my head all day. So it's kind of just not great, but thank you. It's growing, that's for sure. Let's see. Chris. Is Chris here? I didn't see Chris. But hello, Chris, if you are here and you've changed your name to something that I don't know. Hello, Miss Brenda. Hello, Whispering Well. Okay, I've got caffeine. I've got a bit of a clear space. I'm going to shift my microphone. If that's still hard to see, look what I found when I was pulling stuff out. I wonder if you guys are going to be able to see these. I made this. These are like dice that hang on a necklace. And I used one of those hammer stamps, and I hammered a single and a double dot on each so that I can roll these. Like if I'm wearing it, I can have an instant, like, okay, let me see. I can do like a geomancy sigil off of these four things by spinning them. How awesome is that? It's been a couple years. And so I just found that. And then I also found I like to use I stamped the geomancy sigil for joy. I like to give these to people because it brings joy, energy of joy into their lives. So I found those. And I think Mr. Chris sent me that. Okay, put that over there. I'm taking taking it slowly and practicing Miss Sue. Truthfully, I've thought a lot, or people ask me this a lot, like if I had to like stick with one system for the rest of my life, or like one card set. Well, obviously it would be Nellie's because that has everything that I need in it. That's the whole purpose of that deck, is to have like one-stop shop, everything that I want. But like if I just literally had to make a run for it, I would grab a deck of cards, because I do feel like you can Caden, I'm going to get distracted by Caden. I think you can pretty well accomplish everything that you need to with a pack of cards. So if I really was like, you've got to grab one thing and run, it would be a deck of, plus you can like break it. If it's the apocalypse, don't break into places now, but you could break into like a 7-Eleven or a Walgreens in the apocalypse and get a pack of cards, like pretty easy. So Caden, the Archer and Olive, I love the 8x8 looks, but I really want one of theirs that has the multiple paper, has the white paper, craft paper, and black paper. I haven't looked to see if they have an 8x8. If they do, I would be very tempted by that. Okay. Yeah, I've been stalking the Archer and Olive website for sure. I'm just trying to buy, I know I want the 3 colors. Okay, let's get some cleaning while we're chatting. So, did B ever tell us, Miss B or Miss or Mr. B, talk to us about how she's changing to quarterly? Oh, here we go. B says, I'm breaking the planner into quarters and just really focusing on the quarters. Anything you can do to become better organized, right? I do want to start 2021 out with a bang. Because I feel like 2020 is going out with a whimper. I'm going to be 1,000% honest. The last 3 months of 2020 for me have been the worst, and I think it was cumulative, plus things that were going on around me, and just everything. That the last 3 months of 2020 have been rough for me, and I feel like it's going out with a bit of a whimper. And so I'm determined that 2021 is going to start with a bang. Organized, ready to go, creative juices flowing. So excited teaching geomancy. So that's like a big high for me. So I'm just like, bam, I'm going to start out in a good place. And just keep rolling with it. That's my plan. I'm just gonna power through it. I'm gonna do the King and I song. Whenever I feel afraid, I hold my head erect and whistle a happy tune, so no one will suspect I'm afraid. And then the whole point of the song is that you end up fooling yourself, and then you're not afraid. Well, I feel like that's gonna work for not being afraid, but just for energetic powerhousing. I'm gonna go in like a powerhouse until I just turn into the powerhouse. That's my goal. Hello, Jackie. Hello, Roxanne. I'm determined to be on top of stuff too, Miss Jamie says. The OBOD is definitely, I don't know where you're going to add that, Miss Jamie. I'm keeping that in a separate journal, and that's one of my starting out for the bang too. I think we are afraid to look 2020 in the eye, Kelly. So we're giving it the yawn, the sigh. I know. I feel like let's just slide out the door here. It's not like, it's funny because it's not like anything is going to drastically change because the clock changes to 2021, right? But I do think energetically there's just feeling like, okay, regardless of what happens in the beginning, January, February, March, the first quarter of 2021, whether all of this energy technically is still in play, I'm determined to approach the energy and use my energy differently at the beginning. So I think that it's one of those, I'm just going to plow through it, and I'm going to change what I can change, because I can't control all of the energy in the world, but I can control my own self. And I'm done with the last 3 months of 2020 and not really handling it well, and moving into handling it well in 2021. That's just my personal goal. Like me when I leave parties, I want to go just me and probably most parties. Bye, Miss Brienne. She's got to leave and cannot take her computer with her. Okay, I'm going to start pulling some decks down. What should we start? I think let's start. This is like the worst. Should we start with the worst? I don't know how to approach it. The reason that I'm doing this video with you all is because I don't think I can get this done without some motivation, because I've done everything else. Like, I've gone through my sacred space. I've gone through my working space and refreshed it. I've refreshed my tarot table. I feel like I've really refreshed about everything except for my cubicles. Normally, I'm doing my cubicles on every turn of the wheel. So whenever a new shift of the wheel happens, so that's 8 times a year, I'm pulling out everything in my cubicles, freshening it up, and putting it back in. And I did not do this on December 21st, which I should have done on winter solstice. And I didn't do it on the autumn equinox either. So it is a particular humongous mess, energetically and physically, and it's driving me nuts. So I figured if I had some chit chat to help me along the way and talk a little bit about decks and what decks we're gonna look at for, or start maybe using in 2021, I could maybe get it going. Julian says, I just watched your Deviant Moon show. Oh no. I was wondering if your opinion has changed. It has not. But I will say, Julian, my opinion of the Deviant Moon Tarot is that artistically it's amazing, right? I do think that he is an amazing artist. I know that a lot of people love the Deviant Moon, and I love the energy of the Deviant Moon, and I love the deviancy of it. But it's not for me. It's definitely not a deck that I didn't keep it very long. After the walkthrough, I think I traded it with somebody. I can't even remember. I think I traded it for a deck. It's just not a deck. Now, I love the Mildred Payne's Oracle. It's in my favorite Oracle decks, Cubicles. I love that deck. And I really like, which I think might be in here. We'll have to see when we pull this out. This is my favorite tarot decks. I think I might have the one, I don't know what it's called, his that are... yeah, I'll be putting some away, I think. Not my favorites, but over here, this will have to get put away, some of this. His one that is a pip deck, his Marseille deck, that one has the humor, the edgy humor that I feel like Deviant Moon does so well, but with the pips, that one I like. That works quite well for me, because it's a little bit less of the alien creepiness. But I think it's a really great deck. It's just not a great deck for me. That's how I felt by the end of the walkthrough, and I kind of still feel the same way. It's not one I would ever use, but I think it's awesome for the people that it works well for. So, okay. Did anybody say what we're starting with? Nobody's going to help me make decisions. I have no decision-making ability, and yet you're not going to help me. I think we'll just start with what's closest to me, and then we'll work away over here. So let's just pull. I think what I'll do is I'll pull everything out and make sure it's in the right cubicle, and then we'll kind of talk about it as I put them back. So this cubicle here are all my favorite tarot decks. So if, in the event of a fire that everybody's trying to have happen in my apartment, I would sweep everything off of this cubicle and this cubicle into a laundry basket and what's on my reading table and run. That's kind of how this was my fires, and this one, because that's all my historical decks. So I would just sweep these 3 cubicles and this cubicle. Oh dear, 4 cubicles I would sweep into a laundry basket and run. Throw Belle on top of it and run. I should narrow it down more because I'm going to see if any of these need to not be in here, because sometimes over the course of the year things accumulate in here that really shouldn't be in here, but we'll see. Let's just pull it all out and put it back. I think that's what we'll do. Hello, love, light, and peace forever. I probably should know your name, but I don't because I'm really bad with remembering names. Just so you know, Miss Jamie, are you still on? Uh, I know this is just a pop-up random, so we don't really have, I feel like I've lost. Hello, Miss Wendy. Hope to clean my crystals during full moon tonight. Oh, very nice. Um, I know these are, and my daughter, I know this is morbid, but I joke with my daughter because she always jokes about like, what is she going to do with all of my tarot decks? And eventually when something happens to me, I'm, much older than her. So that likelihood is strong. And that she would get stuck with it because my daughter's the kind of person who keeps everything, sentimentally keeps everything, right? And I'm like, you do not need to keep my entire tarot deck collection. Keep everything in these cubicles, and then she's supposed to contact Patrick, my friend Patrick, about the historical decks. So that's what we're doing. Hello, Alice. I probably will forget. Jamie, like last time, you are a moderator, just so that you're aware, or you should be. I can't change it from here, but I believe you have moderator duties without being asked, just because I think we won't have any regular moderators, so I sucked you in. The dangers of being my friend, you get sucked into moderating. Okay, I've almost got everything off here, and we're gonna see if I want to keep. Oh, okay, okay. All right, I want to see. I need to get my juju water. Just a second. 1 second, folks. There's no point in doing this without the spray. And a paper towel. Okay. So what I do usually every 8 quarters is I pull everything out, give it a spritz of it's my version of Florida water. I get migraines from floral scents. So Florida water has a slight floral, it's got a floral note to it. So I make my own and I take out the floral note. And instead of that floral note, I put something like bergamot, which is a citrus note, but it's a floral citrus, if that makes sense. So I feel like energetically it holds the same, or sometimes helichrysum. So I usually will swap the floral note out of the recipe with bergamot or helichrysum. I think the last 2 batches have been helichrysum, and then I think I add Palo Santo oil, essential oil as well. So I use that on everything, my reading table, when I clean things out, when it's just my general to do all things. There was no live from me last night. So I don't know if you missed. I'm sure you missed a live somewhere. The bookcase spirit is an IKEA. I've had it literally for probably 15 years. It's an IKEA 16 cube IKEA with a desktop that kind of comes out like an L. It's an amazing bookcase. So, okay, so let's see. These are supposed to be favorite tarot decks. So I have the El Goliath Tarot, that definitely stays. I have the Very Owl Tarot, first edition. I have the second edition, which I do like one of the changes with the things, but I like the original better. So unfortunately, I'm gonna keep the first edition there. Not unfortunately. Japardia Tarot, yes. I use this a lot with clients, although this year I've mostly used the Light Seer and the Lost Forest for client readings. Those 2 have been very big winners for the client readings. But Japardia is a great deck as well for that. Is definitely a favorite. Herbcrafters Tarot, 100% yes, favorite. Staying in there. Trying to get them in by size so that I got too many in there. I can put my glasses back on. Sorry, Julian. I completely understand. I appreciate your honesty. I had similar feelings first time I saw a deck, and now I feel drawn to it. You know, things change, Julian, and that's the thing. I think that, you know, when I first got the Wild Unknown, I sold it 2 or 3 days later. No more than 3 days. I got it and I sold it. It was like, nope, not for me. Months later, my who wasn't my friend at the time, but my friend Patrick sent me the deck because it's his like soul deck, and he sent it to me, and then I used it hundreds of times after that. So sometimes decks that don't hit you right away can be for you at a different time. I wish they were giving you options with. I agree, Caden. I feel like it's 4 cards. Was it 4 new cards? I think just give you 4 of those cards, and then people can swap in what they want. That to me is perfection. That's what this is my test copy of the Abyss Tarot from Anna, which is up for a pre-order from US Games. And that's what they did here with the 3 of Swords and the 10 of Swords. And that way, if you use numerology, you can do the one set. If you're Rider Waite Smith, then you can use those. So, I mean, that's 4 cards or 2 or 4 cards. Like, just print them extra and let us choose. I agree. My favorite deck at the moment is astrology reading cards. Nice. Hello, Miss Tammy Pie. I just yanked everything out of my favorite tarot decks, and we're trying to put them back and see if anything goes away. Tarot of the Divine. That's definitely a favorite. I'm just trying to find the bigger boxes so that they can all go back in the back. Well, it was a test before it was a sample deck for her while she was writing up the guidebook, and I was kind of giving her a little bit of help. This is a Dream Dust Shamanic Tarot. I can't say that this is like a favorite, but I really like it, but I think it needs to go over here once we clean that mess out. So I'm going to put that right there. I have the Wild Unknown archetype, just getting used to it. Very different. I agree. A very different. Oh, I feel like I'm frozen. I'm going to wait till somebody says whether or not they can still see me. I got a big stutter there, so hopefully it's still working. Margaret Peterson, you know, that's a piece of my soul. That's obviously staying. I wish there was here's another big deck. I'm trying to size these up so they can go in halfway decent. Again, these are my absolute favorite decks that I wouldn't get rid of. This is a Dark Mansion Tarot. 100%. That's not going anywhere. Okay. I don't know about these. We're going to start like, are these really a favorite, Kelly? Or are these like, you got to use them a little bit longer? You can be off topic, Aquarius. We're just chit-chatting. Anything goes. Anything goes. I started playing Animal Crossing. Oh, high five to you. I have to figure out like how we could have like an Animal Crossing party. I have to figure out how. Maybe if I gave everybody, I think if I open my doors, there's a way to do it. We'll have to figure it out. Essence says, I recently watched a video with Patrick reviewing the Wild Animal deck and rehashing how initially. Yeah, it was definitely a hard no for me. The Wild Unknown Animal deck's not my absolute favorite. Now there's a lot better animal deck choices. Okay, let's see. Size-wise. I feel like that's all of those sizes. This is the Spirit Song Tarot, one of the best tarot animal combinations, hands down. Keywords are great. It's really like a combo of an animal oracle. That's small. I need one more larger size deck. These are my Baba Studios. Those are maybe Majestic Earth. That's even smaller. I don't think I have anything else that's taller size. Okay. Well, we'll just have to make a shorter one down there. This is the Tarot of Delphi. Absolutely one of my favorites. I hope this comes back. And it's supposed to be coming back, and I hope that it does. But I'd like to keep that kind of by Majestic Earth since they're curated by the same person. So I think I'm going to stack those. Definitely favorites, no question. Okay. So Shivering Veil, yes. This is definitely a fast favorite. I use it for a lot of healing, either my grief readings or Port in the Storm reading, which is a kind of healing you things. That's how I use that deck. Okay. Spirit Song kind of goes that niche. So does Tarot. Margaret Peterson Piece of My Soul deck. I mostly use that for healing for my own self. I don't use it too much unless I really get the call for it for somebody else. For the most part, I don't use that for other people. I would be happy to, Spirit. It would be great if Delphi would come back in better car stock. I mean, I'm happy to have it, so I'm not going to complain at all about the car stock, but I'm all for it coming back because I do think it's a really, really well done curated deck, and I would like other people to get the option to work with it. Okay, I think what I'll do next is put my Baba Studio decks. They are definitely favorites. I absolutely love mythical creatures. It is probably one of my favorite to use now. Pip decks, because it's so beautiful, but it's a pip deck that even people who aren't like, they don't love pip decks, they don't mind me using it in a reading because it's still quite so beautiful, right? So I usually line those, and the other one's Tarot Prague. I love the playing card corners. Victorian Romantic is one of my favorites, and obviously the Bohemian Gothic is a huge favorite of mine. So those kind of go in a row. Let's see. These always kind of stay out at the front. These are sort of Hush. John Bauer is my Wood Soul. Fairy Tale Tarot is my Fairy Tale Soul. I have the Hush Tarot up there with that as the Fae Tarot of my soul kind of energy. So those kind of go right there. I know you did Essence. It worked. And I'm so glad that you did because I didn't know it was a pip deck. And I am so glad that you did because I love it. I'm sure we'll have similar cardstock as Majestic. Yeah, Majestic Earth is beautiful cardstock. So if it's the same, I would be happy with that. Okay, let's see. How are we going to do this? What else needs to go back? I think I'll do, these are kind of pippish. Okay, that's a pip one. So let's put Santa Muerta back here. And Naked Heart is just nice, clean. It's very similar to Fountain Tarot energy in that it's just good, clean. It doesn't bring with it any kind of energy. It does, but it's neutral energy, which is, just a great thing to have. This tarot, I can't show it to you. I would because you have to wait for U.S. games, but that is a perfect tarot deck for me, and you'll see why when I can do a walkthrough of it. Okay. So then these are Pippish style decks. This is a New Choice Tarot de Marseille. This is a Soul Cards. I do not use this deck because it doesn't record very well, but it is so beautiful. This is the black version. I like them both. The backs are so gorgeous, and the matte gold is so gorgeous, and they're just beautiful. They don't record well, and I don't use them for clients, and I don't really use them for myself. But I love them, so I'm keeping them. They're beautiful. But I will say I don't use them that often. But they're just so aesthetically pleasing that I have to keep them. Is it true that Bob is going to stop making decks? I can't imagine making up with the back. Yeah, I've heard that as well, but whether that pans out or not, I don't know. But I have heard that also. I know they're working on like a fortune telling style deck, like a Sibylla Kipper type style deck, which I am excited to get my hands on. But I think that might be their last one, but I don't know. I have no inside information on that. Seventh Sphere with the Lenormand is also amazing. Pagan Otherworlds, never leaving my hands, and I didn't even really want that for a while. Tarot of the Sevenfold Mystery, absolutely amazing deck. Okay. let's see. This is the, I only use this for myself, and I mostly like the guidebook. It's called the Slow Tarot. That's what it's called. I couldn't remember what it's called. I love the guidebook on it. I haven't used it a lot. I don't use it for clients, but I've had some really powerful personal readings with it. Oof, trying to tie it back up. I shouldn't have untied it. I have had some really powerful personal readings with it. And there's something about the guidebook of this one that I just find to be really powerful. So I quite love that. This is my square Slow Holler. Thank you, Tammy Pie. I don't know what I call it. Slow Tarot. Isn't there another deck called the Slow Tarot? Slow Holler. This is the Augenblick Square Tarot deck that I absolutely love. It's amazing to cast on. Okay, we almost have stuff back. Okay. Lost Tarot First Edition. This one kind of hurts my soul because I'm using the second edition right now because I like the changed artwork, but I really like the white titles. I don't like the gray titles. It's hard for my eyesight to see them, but I have used the Lost Tarot, whether the first or second edition, so much in 2020. That and the Lightseers Tarot, which is over on my deck, and then the last couple months has been the Ogash and Thor. Those are probably my three most used decks for clients this year, for sure. But yeah, that's definitely a fast favorite. But what I love about the Spacious Tarot, as well as like the Lost Soul Tarot or the Lost Forest Tarot, is that if you are not a Rider-Waite-Smith primary reader, that's not your primary system, it gives you enough space to people get to see the images and they get the hints at the possible meanings, but it isn't restrictive. And so that if you're like me and you read more numerologically based, which can get problematic with the Rider-Waite-Smith, it's quite a joy. It's quite a relief. So there's that. This is the Mini Dreams of Gaia. I really love the Mini Dreams of Gaia, although I think you have to have the book of the first edition. So it kind of sucks, not for me because I have it, but for if you don't have it. And then this is a Marshmallow Marseille. It's just sweet and adorable, and I love it. And last one, or two, the Cheminée Tarot. I haven't done a walkthrough of this. I love this deck so much, but I haven't done a walkthrough. It's definitely a favorite. The Cheminée Tarot for me answers the question. So if every single tarot card is asking us a question, I believe that the creator, purposefully or not, the creator of the Cheminée Tarot answered the question. So if the question of the Eight of Swords is how are you going to get yourself out of your way, the Cheminée Tarot shows you climbing your way out of the Eight of Swords, which is amazing. And this is the Idiosyncratic Tarot. Idiosyncratic Tarot. It just really got me through a couple rough Decembers, and it's sweet and it's kind of inner childish, and it just works for me. So that's definitely a favorite. Let me look. I am now organized for 2021. So whilst we're sitting here, I will start a list because I've got my book started here for projects. So I will start a walkthrough list and put Cheminée on the top. Okay. I have put it on. I can't see, it's too bright, but I've started a list. Okay. Let's see. Still thinking about getting the Spacious Tarot. Yeah. I love pairing Raven's Prophecy and Spacious. Oh, interesting, Caden. Very interesting. I don't use the Spacious Tarot much. I have found it really great in my tarot class. I do find it to be a great deck for beginner readers. So I really appreciate that, even though it's not one that I reach for and do a lot of readings from. Keith says, Kelly, did you create the spreads on your site yourself? Are they based on an actual spreads? Yes, I'm trying to think. Because I don't want to say all, right? I would say all of my readings offered on my site other than, the Grand Tableau is a Lenormand reading. The Get There reading is a Kipper reading, a traditional Kipper reading. The way that I do my Kipper thing is a master method count, is a traditional style. So other than those traditional formats, the rest of them are my own spreads. Yes. Julie, I also want you to know if you have worked with the Memento Mori deck by Claire Goodchild. What else has Claire Goodchild done? Memento, I have, my answer is no. Memento Mori Tarot. I'll try that. Oh, Black and the Moon. She did the Black and the Moon did the astrology decks, right? I could be wrong, but I think she did. No, I have not worked with this. Is this a Oracle deck? It looks interesting. I'll take a look at it. I'll keep the link up. But no, I have not worked with it. Okay, let's see. Are we done here? Okay, so I have two decks that are kind of like, I think they really need to go over here in this cubicle deck. One is the Dream Dust Shamanic, which is, I can't say that it's a favorite, but I have to say, since I trimmed off all the words at the bottom, I have used it quite a bit with grief work and again, that Port in the Storm reading that are more supportive style. I have found it really wonderful for that. So I can't say that it's like a favorite of mine, but it's close becoming a favorite. And I haven't used the Keymasters enough to say that one way or another. So, but I'm guessing the Keymaster will find a place because House of the Riding Spades is one of my absolute favorite playing card decks. So my guess is the Keymaster will find a place there. Sure, Machete and Ride Away are my main decks to read for my lovely peeps. Nice, Allison. I have not. The images, I know, I'm the same way, Caden. I keep seeing it in my Barnes and Nobles, and I am tempted, but because I like what they've done there with the two decks and the light and the shadow and the contrasting images, but I need to sit down and watch like a full walkthrough of it, and I just haven't done it yet. And it's not that I love, is it Andre Asti, I think, Asti? I'm so sorry to you that I'm slaughtering it. I love his artwork. Like, I think he's an amazing artist, but I don't know. I didn't quite say I have to buy this, but I love John Matthews' guidebooks. I love everything that he does. And so I'm definitely torn by it. So kind of, I don't know. I need to watch a full walkthrough on that one. Okay, so we are finished. Those are my favorite tarot decks. Now I have more down here. So we're just gonna work our way down here. This cubicle are my favorite tarot and oracle decks. Tarot on one side, oracle on the other, but they're ones that I use in my reading. So a lot of times my readings are, unless it's a general tarot reading, which I can use any tarot deck, a lot of times my client readings are really, I do use specific decks for them. They've just kind of gotten into a rhythm with specific decks, or I've made the reading from specific decks. So I'm about to put my hair up. It's starting to drive me nuts. So that's what this cubicle is. So I know this is kind of a mess. Like, this is not supposed to be here. This is why we're doing this. I got to clean that up. And these are like all in the row. So I'm going to make a path of hello, V, Love, and Crystal. I'm probably supposed to know who you are. I see your face very small. This can get put away. So I love Ancestral Path Tarot, but the first edition, smaller edition, is just so big. The smaller edition is down on my ancestor altar, and so I don't need to keep the big one out. So that one can go and get put away under my bed. I have under the bed bins, those thinner bins. I have one for decks in tuck boxes. I have one for tarot deck, card deck hard box tarot decks. I have one for cartomancy style decks, and I have one for oracle decks under my bed. And then I have one box in my closet that's a taller box for big, like awkward boxes. And so I try to go through 8 times a year when I'm being good. I haven't done it the last 2 times, which is why I'm in such a mess. But 8 times a year, I'll pull stuff out. Now, my favorites don't change because they're my favorites. But this mess here changes, where I'll pull decks out that I want to, what I want to work with, what I want to check out. Do I really love this? Do I not love it? So that's kind of what I do. I'm so sorry. I know it's so rude to adjust your bra strap in public, but half of the population, maybe more than half of the population, wears them. So we shouldn't be too horrified. Let's see. Okay, so let's pull these out. So these are still absolute favorites of mine. I just have kept them out because I use them a lot, but that also shifts and changes. Like some of these I really haven't been using for client readings because I've been using other ones. So I can weed some of this down, but that means they've got to squeeze up there and there's not much room. Caden says, I hope that they eventually, I do too, because it's so beautiful. Like the big size is gorgeous, but it's just not practical. I literally can't shuffle it. It's just not practical to me. My friend Patrick got me the first edition for my birthday, and so I have absolutely loved that. Oh, this needs to go up there. I've got to get a bag for this. This was a birthday present from my friend Bart. I have wanted this forever. This is the Celtic Tarot by Helena Patterson. And it's a pip deck, but it is like, oh, it's too bright. Let's try to turn this off. Does that help? There we go. I haven't done a walkthrough of this yet because it's out of print. He was able to find it, I think, on auction. He's had it for a little while. And it is more beautiful in person than I expected it to be. And I am just in love with it. But it doesn't have a box, so I need to get something to put it in so that it can safely go up here in my favorites. So I need to do something about that. I need to look through my bags or something. Tammy Pie, are you talking about the Celtic one? Yeah, it's not fabulous cardstock for sure. For sure, it's not fabulous cardstock. Moonlight Fae bags. I'll have to write that down. I mean, I've got a sewing machine and I've got a ton of fabric, so I could try to figure it out, but to be honest, I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. Moonlight Fae bags. I just made a note to check them out. I want something that's like tight fitting, so I may have to. I know there's people that will do custom bags too. Okay, let's get this stuff out of the way. Let's see if I've missed anything. I am so sorry. Just repeat it if I forgot something. Cereal box cardstock. Yeah, but the artwork is beautiful. It's prettier than in person than online. Okay, so like some of these I think can go back. Okay, I'm gonna make an oracle pile and a tarot piles. That way I think I'll make sure things are where they're supposed to be. So if you're coming in, have you ever thought of making your own tarot deck like with your Lenormand? Yes. Technically, I'm in the process of doing that right now. Although it's my perfect mashup deck. So it is tarot, playing cards, and fortune-telling deck mashed into one, but it's 78 cards and it is a tarot deck as well. So technically I'm in the process of that in the moment. Whether I would do like a full like painted version of a tarot deck, I don't know. It's not hugely on my list at the moment because there's a ton of amazing tarot decks out there. What can I like to think like, what can I bring to the table? I don't know that the world needs me. I'm not I appreciate my artwork, but I'm not like a world famous artist or anything like that. So I like to think, okay, what can I bring to the table that's a little bit different? Whereas my Journey Oracle, it was a system that really means a lot to me and speaks to how I read energy. Lenormand was, how can I get behind the symbol? There was a reason for it. Nellie's deck is a perfect mashup. Grab that deck and go in the apocalypse and you have everything that you need. So it's kind of like that, I would have to have that feeling of, okay, I really want to do this tarot deck now because this is what I feel like I can bring to the table. So I'm not, again, I'm technically making one right now, but like a just straight tarot deck, I don't know. We'll see. But thank you for asking. Let's see. Jamie has 4. Oh, you have to send me a picture, Miss Jamie, so I can see what they look like. Okay, what are we doing here? Finishing. Okay, this is Oracle. Okay, so these are favorite. Well, that one's not. I need to do a walkthrough of that one. Okay, so that one just shouldn't be in there. This is what happens when you don't clean out your cubicles. Okay. Let me give it a spritz with my Mojo spray. I feel like it's probably inappropriate to call. I do call it dice, or my daughter calls it dice juju spray, or Mojo spray. I don't think that that's probably appropriate because the term mojo or juju probably has real connotations that I need to look up and not appropriate for my. I don't know what I would call it though. I don't have a name for it yet. my magic water. Maybe I could call it magic water. Okay, I'm gonna scroll this down. I think I got my chat stuck. Okay, so again, if you're just coming in, look at how dusty that is. This cubicle are my favorite Oracle and tarot decks, but they're ones that I like to keep the ones that I'm actively pulling from so that they're just right there ready for the different readings that I'm doing for clients. So for example, this is the Weaver's Oracle. This is an empty box. I have not put the Weaver's Oracle back in the box since I got it. It stays on my nature's altar. I use it for any kind of, I use it for my web reading. It's the core of my web reading. And I use it for myself, like for a month energy. So that never gets put away. So that definitely goes there. But some of these tarot decks could shift, but the fact is I don't have room for it to shift. So are there any of these that should be coming down here because I'm using them? No, because those are over there. So we have a dilemma. Well, let me pull down. Okay, I can pull Shimmering Veil because I actually use that in client readings. So I can pull that down. Children of Litha can go up. I love this deck so much. But I haven't been using it for clients right now, but it's to me, it's one of the best expressions of the way that I see the world because it has the pips are all animals. The quartz are different nationalities of humans. The pips also have plants and animals in it. And then the majors are Fey energy. So that like encapsulates everything energetically and physical in my worldview. And so it's just perfect that way. But I'm going to slide that up here because I haven't been using it right this minute, even though it's a favorite deck of mine. So that can go up there. But there's really not anything else that can come down because these are just like favorites, but I'm not using them all the time. So I guess these are going to have to stay down here. So Shimmering Veil, yes. Moonchild Tarot, surprise, right? I'm not a big fan of the Star Child. I'm a fan of the production quality and it's gorgeous, but it just never was a deck that I used. Moonchild Tarot, on the other hand, I use this a lot. And again, this is with that sort of trifecta of decks that I use for grief work, as well as just kind of healing work. Port in the Storm, grief, my grief reading, or if just the question is really based on needing healing, this is a deck that I will turn to. So I definitely use it for that. Witch's Wisdom, this is empty because the deck is right here, but this goes on my reading table because I'm in love with it. So that stays down here because it is out, but it hasn't gone back in its box since I got it, for sure. Okay. These are Oracle decks, so we're not going to worry about those. Fountain Tarot, it's just a neutral energy, beautiful, beautiful rendition of the Rider-Waite-Smith. This is the Sasurabito. I got on this. Is it Sasurabito? 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 I know I'm probably slaughtering it. I really love this deck. It's one that I didn't get onto. I almost am tempted. My niece is learning to read tarot from me, and she would love this deck because she loves this style art. So I'm kind of tempted to give it to her, just so that she has a good deck, like in her art style. But I do like this for client readings. Like, it's really a great deck. But I haven't really been using it for client readings, but I'm going to keep it down here because it won't fit up there. Sassy Burrito. Whew, it's getting hot in here. I'm going to have to go crack a window. Way Home Tarot. This was a surprise deck. I never thought that I was going to love this deck so much. I do too, Caden. Caden says, I want Moonchild Creator to make a Pip style deck. 100%. 100%. I would be on board with that. This, I don't know why I'm showing these cards all of a sudden. We aren't showing cards because we'll be here forever. But this way, I love the backs. This deck is amazing for clients. It's amazing for myself. Like, I adore this deck so, so, so much. I got a lot of use out of that. These two decks, I mean, if you know me, this is no big surprise. Darkness of Light and Tarot Arcana playing cards. I use these decks all the time for past life readings at the core. So that's a no-brainer. Wild Unknown is kind of a no-brainer, although I really haven't been using it for client readings. Oh, I don't have any. Okay, there we go. Stick it up there. Tarot Muha. My Tarot Muha, the cardstock just shredded. I do really love, I think the Tarot Muha is one of the most beautiful, like, Rider-Waite-Smith deck, right? It is like, I feel like really so close to the original Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, but it's beautiful. And I know lots of you love Pamela Coleman Smith's artwork. It's not, to me, beautiful. Whereas Tarot Muha stays so close to the Rider-Waite-Smith, but it's just gorgeous, minus the Judgment card. But my cardstock just chipped, like peel chipped. It was probably the worst chipping experience I've had with the deck was with the Tarot Muha. So yeah, no, I don't have that out. Crow Tarot. This stays out. It's empty. It stays out on my nature altar because I use it with any of my natural animistic style decks. It's Rider-Waite-Smith based, but it reads like a Pip deck for me. So I just read it as a Pip deck. So that is a huge favorite. Okay, so that is all of the favorites. Besides, we already talked about the Celtic. I've got to find a bag for that because those cards are going to get ruined. That's the tarot side. Now, the Oracle side are favorite Oracle decks that I do draw a lot from with client readings. Hi, Mr. Simon. We're cleaning my cubicles out because they are a disastrous mess. We've gone through my favorite tarot decks. We are now in my favorite tarot decks. Favorite tarot decks that I use with clients all the time, and the other half is favorite Oracle decks that I pull from all of the time with let's shift this to that where it won't, theater mode, where it won't pop up. Oh, it looks like my battery's going to die anyways. Hello, Miss Kristen. This is a Cosmic Reading Cards by Nari Anastasia. In fact, let's just stop and pull. It's been, what, an hour almost? Let's just pull a card. This deck is so fantastic, and I never, ever would have bought this for myself. It's very galactic-y feeling, and I mean, looking at it, it's very cosmic and celestial and blue tones. I never would have bought this for myself, and it is a favorite. I pull it with all kinds of stuff. No, it has not, Mr. Simon, because we've only been on my favorites. And while I appreciate the history of the Rider-Waite-Smith, it is not a favorite, unfortunately. I have it in my historical deck collection. And if you want to know my favorites of Rider-Waite-Smith, it is the borderless edition of the Centennial Weight coloration. That's my favorite Rider-Waite-Smith deck. The other favorite is the AGM that you can't buy anymore. Those are my two favorites, Rider-Waite-Smiths. Okay, let's pull a card, or just pull two cards, because we're partway through. Just as a pick-me-up to push us through the final couple days of 2020. Breathe. So the first one we got is strength, because yes, we need some strength. And the second was unconditional love. Okay, I think we're going to see these backwards. No, I think that's right. So we have the strength card came up first and unconditional love came up second. So we need to find strength in unconditional love. And unconditional love is all around us. For me, it's in my family. It's from my family. It's from my friends. It's from my ancestors who have gotten me through 2020. I wrote a post about it on my Patreon that I don't know that I would have gotten through 2020 without my ancestral practice. Like, it literally got me through 2020. And so, wherever that comes from you, I do think that the word love has been kind of, diluted by loving tacos and loving Animal Crossing. Even I do love Animal Crossing, but we dilute the word. And so that some decks, when we see love cards, we think, ooh, we kind of get that because, that's kind of cringy. But when we really think about those streams of unconditional love that we can tap into and access, there isn't anything more powerful, and it is what gets us through. So finding strength in unconditional love will get us through the rest of 2020. So says the Cosmic Reading Cards, which is a favorite deck of mine. Okay, so put that there. Sacred Destiny cards. I love this deck. Mystical Shaman's Oracle. Love this deck. I use it all the time. Not a fan of the guidebook, but I'm a big fan of the cards. This one's going to stay in my favorites. Illuminated Earth is probably one of this and the Spirit cards, which are over there, which I'll show you the box. Those two decks have been the most probably used Oracle decks for me for 2020, has been the Illuminated Earth and the Spirit cards Oracle, which really the box should be over here. That's this one. The Spirit Cards Oracle by John Arthur Mosley has got to have been one of the most, I've used this so much, and probably second place, if not equal place, would be the Illuminated Earth. Definitely most used Oracle decks of 2020 for me. So that one needs to go over here. Illuminated Oracle goes over here. Okay, what else do we got? So we've got my two favorite animal decks. Of course, now I've got some extra ones, but we'll talk about those in a minute. This is the Spirit of the Animals Oracle by Jody Bergsma and the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. These are definitely my most used animal decks. I probably use this one for myself the most, but for clients, I do like this one because there are more cards in it. This has 68 cards in it. I don't really love the crowns and things, but I love the coloration of the cards, and I love the having the 68 cards. So I use this a lot, and I use this a lot as well. These are my two favorite animal oracle decks, although I have a fast coming second favorite, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So those definitely aren't going anywhere because I use these a lot with clients. And obviously, if you last year, you know, Angels and Ancestor, I love this deck. It's super, super balanced. It's just fantastic. I really, really love this deck, and continue to love it. And it continues to be one that I use a lot. Shaman's Oracle, my third most used Oracle deck for sure is the Shaman's Oracle. Ancestor readings were huge this year, and I use this for ancestor readings, for myself and for clients. I use this so much. Horrible card stock. If you love this deck, get a backup. But it is, I use it so much. So yeah, that's definitely, gotta slide that back here. Going by size there. So yeah. And then the last, this one can't go. This one I need to do more work with, but I'm really enjoying it, but I can't have it yet in my favorites. But it's definitely one I'm going to continue working with, which is the Mists of Avalon. I cut off all the keywords. I have a walkthrough of it. Yeah, so, but I love the deck. So the other two in my favorites are the Art History Tarot for Past Lives. I don't use this as a tarot. I use it more as an oracle deck, so it's on the oracle side, as well as Divine Muses. Both of these usually make appearances in my past life readings. So that's of those right there. Not honorable mentions, but ones that are over there that aren't put away because they're on my reading table is the Oak, Ash, and Thorn Tarot, the second edition of the Lost Forest, the Light Seers Tarot is over there, the Cosmovisions Oracle is over there because those are on my table being used. And so those are over there. Is anything else over there? The three best crystallary, bestiary, and herbiary, beautiful illuminated book and decks. The threesome of those all together are on my table. I use those with my own journey system when I pull my animal card. I pull an animal card to narrow it down. So I have that as well. The other thing on my table, sorry, as I squash my face in, this is a combo deck of the Fauna Inspiration and the animals from the Fantastic Being. I took all of the animals from this and all of the animals from this and put it into like an 80-some deck with the mini deck, and that's also on my table. So those are the decks that are on my table. Of course, my own decks are over there as well because I obviously use those. The artist for Mists of Avalon has a new deck out soon. I knew she was working on one, Spirit 277, but I didn't know if it was anywhere near being up or not. I gotta see what is. Let me turn my. There we go. Turn my phone. Didn't really clear much out over there. I guess we'll just keep moving this way. Simon says, I have these in the minis. They are so beautiful. The more I can get out of an animal deck, the more types of animals that I can get, the better. So I just love that because I think with the combination that I did, it ends up being around 80 animals, which is fantastic. I did not know that. I'm going to write that down. The artist is Nadia Turner. I'm going to write Nadia Turner Oracle ? So hopefully I'll remember to look that up. Oh, I'm frozen? Okay, let me see. Okay, frozen. Okay, let me see. I wonder if this came out. Okay, I'm talking. Okay, so I'm going to try to take myself off. Let's see. Add myself back. Okay, I'm going to wait. Let me see what I can do. I'm going to wait and see. I know there's a lag between what I see and you see, so I'm going to wait a minute. Did that help? Okay, Simon says it helped. Probably turn the light back on so you guys can see better. But I'm going to see. I'm going to see. I don't know although some people are saying they can hear me. I think I thought I grabbed my hair clip. I need something to clip my hair up because it's starting to drive me bonkers. I'll probably have to grab that in a second. Okay, the slow-mo going. Okay, let me try one other thing. I'm going to go black again. Okay, I think I might have refreshed something. So I'm going to start pulling decks off while I wait and see whether that did any good or not. Because I know there's a delay here. So I'm going to pull some things off of here. And then I'll stop if I hear, because all I'm doing is pulling decks out of this cubicle. And so I figure, I guess I should separate out tarot and oracle and see whether or not that helped or not. Some of these definitely are going to get put away, but I'm going to wait to talk too much. But what I'm pulling from is I'm testing these decks out, or I wanted to try them. Do I find myself reaching for them? It's that kind of are they going to make it as a place in my favorites, or are they going to get put away? It showed the refresh. Still a black screen. Okay. I'm probably talking to myself. So I'm going to, I think is Oracle. I think this is Tarot. Still a black screen. Okay. I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes to see if it refreshed. Oracles. Brenda says, there you are. Is it still stuttery? Oracles, tarots, tarot, but I would really use it more as an oracle. I don't know. I'm just continuing to chit chat because people were saying they could hear me. Okay. Oh, I'm pixelated. I don't know what to do now. Okay, let's think. How can I fix this? I don't know what else to do. Let me look at my internet. Internet looks fine. Okay, let me think. Let me make sure I don't have anything running in the background that I'm not aware of. It doesn't look, oh, you know what? Let's exit that out. That could. I'm gonna exit some things out and see just anything that I think could be interfering. I'm gonna exit that. Okay. I'm just trying to close anything that could be interfering. I'm gonna cancel that. Yeah, I mean, it probably wouldn't be on your side if more than one person is doing it. I don't know what else to do, to be honest. Oh, wait, here's a button, having issues. I'm going to click this. Oh, I don't know what happened here. I don't think that's going to do anything. Yeah, I don't think it's you guys. It's definitely me. I don't know whether to end and start a part two, like start over. I don't know. Everything looks fine from my end, and okay, let me see. I stopped that. So see, one person is seeing. I'm going to try one more thing if you have the patience for it. I'm going to go black. It's going to go black again, and you're not going to be able to hear me for a minute. But I'm going to completely refresh my OBS here. So let me. I'll be right back. Just if you give me, we'll just try this one more. It's the only other thing I can think to do. I know. I don't know if you can hear me, but Ricardo, I agree with Ricardo that it is 2020. Um, gonna go out with a bang. I'm gonna grab my clip while we're waiting and crack a window. It's not so hot. Okay. We'll see if anybody can see me. I'm gonna twist my hair out because it's driving me bonkers. After this, like that's the only other thing I can think of to do. Oh, great! That's fabulous. I don't know what else to do other than just stopping the stream and starting it again. Whew. Yeah, I can feel cool air coming in. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to do at this point, and other than to stop it and restart it if it hasn't kind of started back up. I'm going to continue to pull these decks out of here, and a lot of these are going to be get put away at least for this season, and then they may end up coming back out again, but we'll see. We'll see if anybody can see me yet or not. So if you're just joining, we're having some technical difficulties. It was going along fine, and then it kind of froze up on us. And so I'm cleaning out cubicles. The cubicle that I just emptied is decks that I want to kind of work with, or I wanted to work with them for a season, or I wanted to, but they're not like favorites yet. They're just decks that I'm kind of trying out. I'm giving them a fair shake. But they might go in and out of my main collection, which is under my bed, when I go through, because each turn of the wheel, I put decks back and I pull out other decks that I want to be working with. So these are decks that probably aren't ones that I'll continue to work with. So I'm going to give it a little bit of time to maybe catch up. And then the next thing we can do is just stop the chat and try it again. That's the only other thing I know what to do. So I'm going to just give it a couple more minutes to see if maybe it writes itself. There's a help button right here. I wonder if it works. How can we help? Well, trying to stream and it's pixelated. And the video is acting up. Refreshed everything. I don't know if this is actually going to help anything on my end. I don't know if that's actually going to help, but we'll try it. My HD quality is usually pretty good. It shouldn't normally be pixelated, and I don't think it was pixelated when we started. So I don't know. I'm gonna keep going for a minute and see if it adjusts. If it's really, Jamie, just let me know if I need to just stop it or not, because obviously I can't see it on my end. Everything looks good, so it's hard to tell. Okay, these are tarot decks that I was just either testing or trying to decide, just using them for a little while. But I think most of these are going to probably end up going back into my collection and then pulled out at a later date. This is called the Tarot of the Holy Spectrum. I actually find this to be a really cool deck, but I haven't used it much. I actually think this one I'm going to keep out because I think I want to play around with that a little bit. And this one's definitely going away. This is the 5-cent tarot. It's just not for me. It's 2 Rider-Waite-Smith keywords all over it. I will probably end up trading this one. But with trading kind of stuff, what I tend to do is I'll make a box of decks that I'm probably going to trade and then just put that box away because I usually regret trading things. But that deck is super Rider-Waite-Smith and Rider-Waite-Smith keywords, and so it doesn't quite work with the way that I read. So it's definitely coming out of the cubicle. Okay, Miss Jamie thinks we should just start a part 2. Okay, so I'm going to do that then. I'm going to end this and just turn right around and start a new broadcast. So we'll see if that fixes it. Hopefully some of you will find your way over to the next one, and I will see you